We changed the order, but. Okay. All right, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank Diego, thank you.
What's our regular, like, that's just.
I used to sit with him on lunch break. I'd go up to him and talk to him. I don't know what he
Well, how many people do you
like
have
to
now?
pick his brain and
Welcome, everybody, and sorry for the late start. We had some technical difficulties, but right now I'd like to open the meeting. Samantha, please take roll call.
Blackstock South, Chris Bissonette.
Here.
Bryce Canyon North, John Hike.
Here.
Cabrillo, Juan Carrillo.
Here.
Carriage Squill, Vilma Contreras. Channel Islands, Tom McNally. Cypress, Noemi Corpus. East Village, Ronald Arwejo.
Here.
5 Points Northeast, Pat Brown. Fremont South, Kim Winch. Hobson Park East, Roger Poirier. Kamala Park, Robert Lucio.
Here.
La Colonia, Daniel Alvarez.
Here.
Lemonwood, Eastmont, Larry Stein.
Speaking.
Orchard Park, Diana Velzy.
Here.
Oxnard Dunes, Lisa Hewitt. Here. Oxnard Shores, Walt Hagedum.
Here.
Pleasant Valley Estates, Rosanna Biggerstaff. Redwood, Patrick Harlan. Rio Lindo, Sandy Diaz. River Park, Paul Schneblin. Rose Park, Alfonso Arroyo.
Here.
Sea Air, Edward Castillo. Seaview Estates, Isaac Califf. Sierra Linda, Sergio Garcia. South Bank, Deb Arevalo. Southwind, Sofia Vega. Via Marina, Doug Tauber. West Village, Michael Gleason. Wilson, Angela Whitecomb. Windsor North, River Ridge, Brian Landers. And Chair, we have a quorum. I do see the attendees online, and I've registered you as attended.
Thank you. Now, this will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everybody please stand? Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to item B, approval of minutes. Will everybody please take out the minutes from November 5th, 2025 and review for a motion to approve?
Would have made it quicker, but you know how you can die of old age and stop living.
For sure.
Do we have a second? Did I hear it yet? What was your name? What was your name again?
I'm representing for South Oxnard, so my name is Hector.
Hector? Okay, we got a.
Yeah.
We have a motion from Lisa Hewitt with, seconded by Blackstock South. Hector, right? Is it- Edgar, okay. So, as written, so everybody agree to that? Please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. So the motion carries to approve the minutes as written, November 5th, 2025. And there we go. All right, so let's move on to public comments. Item C. At this time, a person may address the INCO on matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of the INCO. The INCO cannot enter into a detailed discussion or take any action on any items presented during public comments at this time. Such items may only be referred to the Executive Secretary for administration action or scheduled on a subsequent agenda for discussion. Public comments on items on the agenda will be considered at the time of consideration of the agenda item. The presiding officer shall limit public comments to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody for public comments? I believe we have a hand raised, but I can't read the name.
Angela, please unmute.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to say a happy holidays and make sure that you are all aware of all the fun things that are happening this this upcoming week with the tree lighting on Thursday, beginning at 5 p.m. in Plaza Park, followed by the Christmas parade, the Children's Parade on Saturday morning downtown from A Street to C Street between 7th Street and I think it's 2nd Street, and also the Tamale Festival. So super excited about these fun holiday events coming up. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware. That's it.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else for public comments? No? Okay. So let's move on then to item D. We are going to swap item 1 and 2. 2 will go first, and then 1 will go second. So we're going to open with item 2, subject short-range transit plan implementation, Route 1 realignment. Recommendations that the INCO general membership receive an update from Gold Coast Transit District staff on a plan changes to Route 1 in South Oxnard. Hi.
All right.
I didn't have your name.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council. My name is Austin Northrup. I'm the planning manager at Gold Coast Transit, and I will be presenting our short-range transit plan, Route 1 realignment. The presentation is going to go over that I'd be able to see the screen. I'm going to go over first kind of a general overview of Gold Coast Transit, and then I will get into the realignment. So Gold Coast Transit District is a special district. We provide transit services in Ojai, Oxnard, Ventura, the county of Ventura. Our mission is serving, moving, and connecting people to opportunity. Oh, sorry, next slide. Our mission is serving, moving, and connecting people to opportunity one ride at a time. And our vision is revolutionizing transportation in Ventura County through initiatives that improve rider experience, achieve clean air, and drive economic vitality. Sorry, if I could get. All right, next slide. And then one more. Perfect. So like I said, we serve basically Western Ventura County. We have 17 routes that serve Western Ventura County. We do that with 61 buses and 28 paratransit vans, and we have a total of 228 employees. Next slide. Our board of directors consists of elected officials from all of the jurisdictions that we serve. So for the city of Oxnard, currently the board, or our director, is Gabriela Rodriguez. You all may know us as SCAT, or some of you may have known us as SCAT. We formed as a JPA back in 1973. In 2014, we shifted from a joint powers authority to a district with all of the same member organizations joining the district. Today, we also have, when we formed the district, we also created the Technical Advisory Committee, which appoints a staff member from each of the member jurisdictions to represent on our Technical Advisory Committee and share information between our agency and the city or the jurisdiction that is a member agency. Next slide. So our board priorities for this year were to improve our operational efficiency. The short-range transit plan is a big part of that, so moving towards implementation of our short-range transit plan that was adopted last year. We're also working to improve our organizational structure as well as all of our compliance mechanisms to make sure that we are serving the public and using our funds in the most responsible way possible. We are also looking to maximize the space at our new facility. We do have a facility that was commissioned in 2019. It was designed to expand transit service, and so it has capacity to serve or to offer more service out of that facility. And so our goal this year and in the coming years is to continue to expand our services and maximize the use of that facility. And then budget management and financial forecasting. We want to make sure that we're using our resources in the community. There's only so much revenue to fund transit, so we want to make sure that we're using those funds in the most efficient and responsible way possible. Can I get the next slide? So our budget comes primarily from federal and state funding. TDA is our largest source of funding, which is the Transportation Development Act for the state of California. We also get formula funds from the federal government through the FTA. We also have other discretionary competitive grants that we're able to receive, as well as state grants that we're able to receive. And then we also have passenger fares that make up a portion of funding. And there's a couple of other things that we do, ad revenue and things that also add to the revenues the agency brings in. Next slide. So our overall budget, our revenue funding for this fiscal year we have a $40 million revenue projection. Most of that is coming in through TDA, as I said. After that, federal funds through the FDA, and then state funding, as well as passenger fares, some advertising revenue, and some other non-transportation revenue sources. Going into our expenses on the next slide. The majority of our expenses are staff. Operating transit service is very labor intensive, so you'll see wages and benefits are the largest portion of funding or of expenses. After that, there's a lot of maintenance and capital expenses that go into maintaining the buses. In addition to that, we also provide money to each of our member jurisdictions for maintenance at bus stops, as well as things like the maintenance and operations of the Oxnard Transit Center. Can I get the next slide? So a few of those examples. The transit centers are funded through TDA funds that come through Gold Coast and then go to the member agencies. Also maintaining bus stops, putting in new amenities, that sort of thing. We also, as a district, we serve all of Ventura County except for some of the incorporated areas, so we do provide some service or fund some service in other areas, the Ojai Trolley and the Canaan Shuttle. So now we'll get into the real meat of why we're here today. If I can get the next slide. So in 2023, we began the process of developing our short-range transit plan. It started with a comprehensive operational analysis, basically looking at all of our services, looking at the speed of the service, the quality of the service, looking at all of the demographics changes that have occurred over the past 5 to 10 years, and comparing our services to other agencies that operate similar services. We also conducted a community and passenger survey as part of that. So we wanted to get an idea of what the community felt about the current services we provide, as well as services that we maybe don't provide that they'd be interested in seeing. After doing all of those surveys, we put together recommendations, released them to the public in the fall of 2024. And so the public had a chance, all of the passengers had a chance to review the recommendations for the route changes we were making. And after that, in reviewing the comments and feedback we got from the public, we modified the recommendations some and ultimately adopted our short-range transit plan in the fall of 2024. Next slide. So the SRTP recommendations, the goal is to obviously improve the quality of the service, and the big ways that implementing the short-range transit plan recommendations will do that is by improving weekday service or weekday peak frequency on 6 routes, increasing access to 30-minute or better service by 21%. So 21% more of the population in our community will have access to 30-minute or better service. Also increasing access to 40-minute or better service by 73%. So just generally increasing the frequency that our routes operate at. Improving our weekend and evening frequency and service spans. And finally, improving the timed connections, particularly at the Oxnard Transit Center, Ventura Transit Center, and the Esplanade. What that will actually look like, if we can go to the next slide, is a system that is very similar to what we operate today. Although if you compare the current route map to the recommended route map, you'll notice it is quite a bit more direct. So we eliminate a lot of the deviations into neighborhoods onto neighborhood streets, making the service operate on arterial routes, allowing it to operate faster and more frequently. Next slide. So we are in year one of the short-range transit plan. The first year of the short-range transit plan was really just to set up and develop the second year of the short-range transit plan recommendations, which we have been working with local jurisdictions. We've met with city staff to discuss what the changes would be and how we would have to go about, or what we'd have to go about doing to implement them, and we'll continue to do that over the next 6 months. For the Route 1, the recommendation in year 2 is to revise the alignment and adjust the schedule. For the Route 6, which serves the Route 1, operates between the OTC and South Oxnard down to Port Hueneme. We would adjust the alignment in the southern portion of the route, and I'll go into more detail in the next slide. For the Route 6, which serves North Oxnard going up into Ventura, that schedule would be revised. Those two routes make up the majority of the ridership in our system. So those are two very important routes for our area and the community we serve, and so they will form, and the schedule adjustments we make will form the backbone of our system, with all the additional recommendations being timed to those schedules. There will also be some changes in Ventura on the Route 10, as well as some schedule adjustments to the Route 11, which is also in Ventura. Can I get the next slide? So the big change, and this is the biggest change in year 1, is the realignment of the Route 1. Currently, the service runs down Oxnard, or down C Street, over to Saviors, and runs down Saviors to Bard Road, where it splits off into 2 routes. So it becomes the 1A and the 1B, with one route going in one direction around the loop and one bus going in the other direction. Effectively, what this means is that currently, north of Bard Road, the bus operates at a 20-minute frequency, and south of Bard Road, it operates at a 40-minute frequency. The proposed realignment will extend that 20-minute frequency the entire length of the route through Oxnard down into Port Hueneme, with the only section as operating as a loop is the south, or the Surfside loop down in Port Hueneme. This will reduce redundant service. Right now we have several routes that are operating on the same streets, which means that we're kind of double serving those, but we're not necessarily operating at a frequency that would be useful. And so if you look at the 2 maps, you can see the red current routing, and then you can see the purple, the new alignment, and the new stop locations that would be proposed on J Street. And then you can also see on the map on the right, back in 2020, we implemented the Route 23, which services Ventura Road and Hueneme Road, and that's where we currently have duplicate service, where the Route 1 is serving that area, but the Route 23 is as well. And so this will allow both of those routes to more efficiently serve the South Oxnard community. So I guess just to summarize, if I can get the next slide. The proposals in the SRTP were community-driven and developed based on the feedback and travel patterns that our consultant observed, and that the information we received from the surveys. All of the recommendations combined, although particularly this realignment will result in faster trips from South Oxnard to North Oxnard and through timed connections at the OTC. It will be more direct service. It will result in more frequent service for a large portion of the route. It will result in better connections overall, not only between the Route 1 and the Route 6 in this phase, but as we move forward with SRTP recommendations being implemented, more and more routes will make better connections with those routes. Overall, it will result in easier to understand transit system. A lot of those minor deviations, as well as the variable frequencies that our routes operate on, can be confusing for passengers. And so by creating a single system designed with coordinated schedules, it will be much easier to navigate the system overall. The biggest thing is that all of these changes will improve access. So it'll improve access to residential areas, retail, jobs. People who are using transit will be able to move through the community faster than they are today. And the biggest one is we only have so many resources to use. And so these changes will allow us to use these resources in the most efficient way possible, serving the most people with the best service that we can provide. So with that, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
We have some questions.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm Walter Hagan of Oxnard Shores. I noticed on the recommended map there's an extension of the route, I think it looks like down Channel Island to the harbor, which would be welcome because we don't have a lot of public transportation. I just can't read it on the map, but I just wondered if that's what was happening.
Yes, yeah, and I'm not sure which year exactly it is, but it's in either year 3 or 4 of the SRTP recommendations. The Route 5 would be modified to terminate at Channel Islands Harbor.
I realize that I'm Larry Stein, Chairman of Lemonwood. I realize there's no public transportation from Oxnard to Malibu. That's a 17-mile strip, and there's probably little demand to that. But it would be nice if that was advertised more or promoted more, because there's still a lot of people traveling between Oxnard and Malibu on limited income, because there are jobs in Malibu that people in Oxnard work from. So the other issue is there's going to be a plan on the South Oxnard transportation, and that's probably another discussion, but having it incorporated going to the beaches in South Oxnard, as well as the beaches on the roads parallel to harbor, that should be considered, because we try to promote activities there, but there's limited parking. By having parking at the locations you mentioned, such as Center Point Mall and the Transit Center, might be more conducive. Also, people come into Oxnard by train can be able to participate in more activities without having to traverse the city. So these are just some suggestions and notices that I have. Thank you for the presentation.
I very much appreciate those comments, and I think those are things that we may have received feedback on when we were developing the SRTP. Ultimately, it is we have to balance the resources we have, but those are things that we'll continue to look at going forward to see if we can serve those areas better.
Doug, go ahead.
First of all, thank you for that presentation. It was very enlightening to me because, I had no idea how intricate and large this the public transportation system was. As far as public or input here, because I noticed you got a lot of social media follow us on. Just my input. I typically wait at airports for hotels picking me up with their vans. They have apps now where you can actually track where your van is or your bus is, and as far as incorporating new technology, you guys could possibly develop an app.
I'm happy to tell you it is here.
It is?
Yeah, we have our through the county, there's a county regional project to provide real-time passenger information. You can either get the GoVC bus app. There's also a number of other third-party apps that have our real-time information for our buses.
Wonderful.
I recommend the transit app. I think it's fantastic. But yeah, if you're riding the bus, you can pull up both the real-time information. The other one is all of our schedules are loaded on Google Maps. So if you're same as you were,
where can you find the app?
So the GoVC bus app is available on both the Apple and Android app stores. Transit app is the same. There's also a govcbus.com website that has, without downloading the app, you can just pull it up. But
Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's,
Anybody online? No, I don't see anybody. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Walt kind of asked about the same route I'm going to. Thank you very much for your presentation. Like, I had no idea it was so intricate either. But the only place I'm not seeing would be Silver Strand Beach. And I understand that's an unincorporated area, but Carl's will be at the corner. And is there any transportation? Because there's so many kids out there. There's one way in, one way out, and it's a long stretch.
we don't have any fixed route service out there.
Why not?
We do. I think mainly because there's just limited resources. So we ideally, in an ideal scenario, we would have buses running everywhere, every which way, all times of day. But we have to balance the resources that we have. And so the system is designed around serving the most, the areas that will best be served by transit, the ones that will produce ridership. And so there are areas that, unfortunately, in our district that we cannot necessarily provide a route to every single neighborhood. And
That's interesting, because you go to Ojai. Wow. So, okay, and then you said Channel Islands, so can't you just continue down?
Well, and
But thank you, I understand 100%. I just
we
wanted to ask.
will have a route going out, like I said, to Channel Islands Harbor. And I think the evaluation that we did in choosing the Channel Islands Harbor was that had the most kind of the highest potential for both jobs and residential to ensure that the route would be successful.
I assume once Carl's comes on that corner, that it might be a little more lucrative, but thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? No? I guess not. Thank you very much.
Right.
So,
Thank you, Renee.
okay, so let's move on to item 1, technically 2 now. South Oxnard Connect, that the INCO general membership receive a presentation on the South Oxnard Connect project and provide input and presented questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm Kathleen Mallory. I'm the Planning and Sustainability Manager, and great. So we're here to present about a really exciting project for South Oxnard. Next slide, please. So I'll introduce the project team. We have Grew and Associates sitting back here. They will be giving the presentation this evening. And then I also have with me our team, Maria Martinez, our senior planner. She's been with us for a little more than 2.5 months. And then far left, Markham Caldwell, he's our housing planner, and he joined us in July. And his sole focus is an important job to focus on housing laws and how to connect the housing, transit, climate conundrum. So with that, I'm going to go ahead to the next slide, Michael, and we'll be here to help facilitate some questions at the end.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here, and thank you all council members for having us. I appreciate your time. We do, just to let you know, we do have printouts of this presentation right here. If any of you have had a chance to grab it, there's one right here. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, so Orlando Gonzalez here with Grew & Associates. As Kathleen mentioned, we're happy to be here, and I'm gonna give you some information about the background of this project and where we're headed and what are the next steps as we move forward. So, in this meeting, I think the important thing that I think we want to inform you of is, the goals and intentions of the project. What is the study area, and where are we going from here, from this point on? And get your feedback, really. We are at that initial stage of the project where we're here to listen to you all, and to really absorb what it is that everybody feels about their neighborhoods, especially in South Oxnard. And that is the information we're going to use to inform this project further and move it along. So next slide, please. Next slide. So what is it about the project? What are we actually doing? We are first and foremost creating a specific plan called the South Oxnard Connect Specific Plan. And it is in support of transit-oriented development, which I'll talk about a little bit further in terms of how that's defined. And its essence is to create a vision. And it's a vision that's community-based. And so right now, as you'll see, we're going out to the community, presenting to you all to get that community-based vision, which will help generate strategies such as public improvement projects and an understanding of what the goals and priorities will be of the project, such as providing increased mixed income housing. Next slide, please. What you see on the screen there is going to give you a little bit of context, is the regional area. So what you see in the dark red, kind of a small blip there on the bottom of your screen there. The dark red is the actual specific plan area that we are studying. And in context of the city, of the city's limits, which you see in the pink, the overall pink that you see on the majority of your screen there. And obviously, you know that to the west, you have Port Hueneme. To the north, you have Ventura, Camarillo. To the west, you have agricultural fields and so forth at Oxnard College, and to the north also, downtown Oxnard from our study area and the transit center. Next slide, please. And just a little bit of a close-up view there. So again, what you see in the dark red is the actual specific plan area that we're looking at. And they're defined by the boundaries of Saviors Road to the east, Hueneme Road to the south, J Street to the west, and Van Ness to the north, which is just north of Pleasant Valley Road. And so that's the area that we're looking at. And so those are major corridors, of course, that are defining the boundaries of the study area. And within that, as previously discussed by Austin, is the high-quality transit corridor that's being proposed for the future. Next boundary. Next slide, please. And so just mentioned, some of the boundaries of the specific plan area. And generally it encompasses, in terms of the neighborhoods, the South Winds neighborhood and portion of the Pleasant Valley neighborhood. Next slide, please. And here you see the area that we're looking at from the air. So this is an aerial view. And what's important to notice here is, the hearts and centers of these neighborhoods, the South Winds, and then just to the north, the Pleasant Valley neighborhood villages. The parks and the schools really are at the heart of these neighborhoods currently. And where you have at the edges along the corridor, such as Hueneme Road and Saviors Road, is you have more of the commercial activity happening. And within that, you have sprinkled throughout is single-family and multifamily residential fabric. Next slide, please. And here's just another map, as mentioned earlier, that begins to give you a sense. You see the buildings in its rectangular and squarish forms that you see on the map there, and then a red line and a green line. The red line is the current Route 1. The red line is the HQTC 2050 route, and the red line is the approved realignment of the future route for Route 1. And that the area that you see within the dark, thick boundary, that's our study area. And I think an important thing to note is what's serving the neighborhoods there, the communities, within these transit corridors is a lot of residential housing. You see the fabric itself just physically in this map, how much residential there actually is in comparison to commercial. Next slide, please. And in this slide, in October, we went out and visited the area, and there's a lot of things that we were able to take away in terms of our just initial observations of the area. As you see on the map here, in the center, again, is that the map of the study area, and surrounding it are images of certain issues that we saw. I'll just mention just a few. Number one, to the top right, Pleasant Valley as a major retail destination for that area, for that local area. Number two, on the right-hand side in the middle, we noticed a very mature landscaping, and it's something that we felt that's such a critical thing in the neighborhood to preserve and enhance, of course. Number four, to the bottom left, we noticed that, in a lot of these commercial areas, there seems to be a large setbacks, the commercial buildings being set back far from the street itself, whether it's Pleasant Valley Road or Wainemy Road, or Saviors. And those can be challenging in terms of visibility for local businesses, but also presents future opportunities. Number five, to the left center, that's J Street, looking down J Street, something there that we noticed in the neighborhoods has an amazing, residential fabric that I think it's important to note, because this plan will, as much as it is about providing new opportunities, it's also about preserving and enhancing what's already there. And number eight, the last thing I'll mention, number eight, top center, is C Street, looking north towards downtown. So, it's not only about providing the needed, amenities as the community wishes for and desires, but it also is about connecting the community beyond its study area to other destinations, not only within the city, first and foremost, like downtown, Oxnard, and the transit center, but even beyond that to other destinations. Next slide, please. And so what is exactly a specific plan that we're doing? It's a regulatory document that implements the city's general plan, its goals and objectives. And so we're here to look at that, review that, and further enhance what those goals and priorities are as informed by the city and by the communities of Oxnard. Next slide, please. And with the specific plan, as mentioned, in terms of implementing the general plan, both the public realm within the streets, within the street right-of-ways, and also the private realms, how development can happen in the future in the private properties. Again, as mentioned earlier, it's community-based. That's what's going to drive this effort. It begins to control land uses, identifies public improvement projects, whether it's improving sidewalk conditions or a new configuration for a street and how to improve that with bicycle facilities. Those are just examples. So those are the kinds of improvement projects that we'll begin to look at per city and community feedback, of course. And in the end, this specific plan will require approval from both and adoption from both the Planning Commission and the City Council. Next slide, please. What a specific plan does not do, it does not force property owners to redevelop, and it does not require buildings, any specific buildings to be replaced. And it cannot reduce the permissible housing density in an area unless it's made up somewhere else per state law. Next slide, please. And so, as mentioned, an important element of this plan is the fact that a future high-quality transit corridor is going to go within the study area, which is higher frequency bus service. And that's going to help connect the community beyond its neighborhood limits. And so part of that that's going to qualify for transit-oriented development in strategic locations, as informed by city staff and by the community and you all. What is transit-oriented development? Some of the elements include cluster development, as I mentioned, strategic areas where you can have a mix of uses concentrated, such as a coffee shop or a sandwich shop with housing above, whether it's apartments or senior housing, et cetera. And it also focuses on enhancing public spaces, giving back to the community in terms of benefits of recreation or sitting areas. Those kinds of public spaces are also prioritized. And also, of course, it is about finding different ways and multiple ways of access and connectivity within and without and beyond the specific plan area, but it prioritizes walking and bicycling above all, and it tries to reduce the dependence on the car and more on transit, walking and biking. Next slide, please. And so with that, to transition into, last couple of slides, into some of the benefits out of transit-oriented development and HQTCs, high-quality transit corridors, there's social benefits, there's economic benefits, and environmental. And some of the main points for each of those categories, starting with social, it provides housing near transit, of course, as just mentioned. And that allows, folks to live and play and work, nearby where they don't necessarily have to use their car to travel far in their day-to-day activities. And that, of course, in support of employment centers, connecting workers to their work via bus, via bicycling, more bicycle facilities, higher frequency bus service, et cetera. And with a more mix of uses and more opportunities to improve the public realm, you have more opportunities for social interactions and within those public amenities. Next slide, please. Economic benefits, I think, the main thing, I think that it'll help support local business because you expand your customer base. The more people you have living in an area, the more mix, the more activities that can happen within an area, then you get more local support for local business. And that's, I think, a critical component. So you kind of, keep everything at home. It helps to increase property values in the future. And again, as mentioned earlier, allows for efficient mobility in multiple ways. Next slide, please. And lastly, environmental benefits. Again, with the priority of reducing the dependence on cars, the main thing is to reduce greenhouse gases. And so with compact growth, more open space, more trees, more walkability, better sidewalk conditions, overall, it just creates a safer environment. And also, with a safer environment, you get more people on the street, you get more eyes on the street, more activity, and it begins to create a true sense of place as envisioned by the city and the community. And so that's kind of the priorities that we're trying to work towards. Next slide, please. And the last two slides, one is, these are some of the questions in some recent outreach that we've been giving in reaching out to the community members, different organizations. Questions such as what improvements are needed in this community? What is the biggest challenge in the community? What opportunities exist? And in the end, is there anything else that you would want us to know that we haven't thought of? What we're really trying to get after here is what are the patterns? With these questions, what are the patterns of these neighborhoods, of these communities? Because what we really want to understand is what makes your neighborhood special. And we want to preserve that and just enhance that even further. And that's what I think we're trying to do here in terms of like what is culturally, socially, economically, that which is going to make this neighborhood sing, and us trying to understand what those opportunities, those challenges are going to allow us to ensure that we custom and tailor-make this plan as unique to the community in the way that they own it for themselves. And that's what we want to try and accomplish here. Next slide, please. And lastly, where we are at in the process. We are right now, again, at the beginning phase of this process where we're continuing to collect data from the neighborhoods, from our observations, from other city plans and documents, and going out to the community. We've just gone through a number of outreach events, and so we're all in a listening mode right now. So we're all about right now just absorbing what you guys feel you guys need, what the neighborhoods need, whether it's better sidewalk conditions or benches on the sidewalk for people to sit, seniors or whatnot, or safe crossings for kids to cross. Those are the kinds of things that we're trying to really understand what is it, in terms of, again, the patterns of the neighborhood that we want to, highlight and make it their own. And so we're in that process right now where you see the blue arrow pointing down. And from this, phase of listening, we are going to move forward with then presenting in the near future some initial preliminary goals and take that out to the community and confirm, are these the goals that you guys want to have for your neighborhood? And so we're going to come up with a visioning process that is going to involve a lot more outreach to the community in future outreach events. And then that will then lead to inform this specific plan in terms of development standards, design standards, and so forth that will make up this specific plan itself. But again, it's all going to come from a community-based vision. And last slide, please. I don't know if you wanted to do that.
So the next step in this process is we're going to distribute the questions, the 4 questions that you saw on the screen, and we'd like to have, if the chair will permit, a limited amount of dialogue with the folks here to answer those and to give their feedback on those questions. So we'll also email that, Samantha, we'll also email that out tomorrow. And then we have the email address of where you should submit the input by December 16th. We will have a booth at the Tamale Festival. Not only will you enjoy the parade and some great tamales, you'll get some great information and swag from our booth. Come on by. And then also we'll have an in-person community design meeting on January 28th. We will have Spanish and Mixtec interpretation to be provided at 200 East Bard Road, and then continuing to stay engaged in our project. Go to the next slide if you could, Michael. Thank you. This is just if anyone wants to see the logo. You'll see that throughout the community in terms of events. So look for that South Oxnard Connect logo. You can scan the QR code. And if we can go back to slide 18, that'd be wonderful. Okay, so with that in mind, Samantha, our chair, how would you like to just go through these? All right.
Just have at it.
Okay, great, thank you. So what improvements are most needed in this community? And this, and I just want to share, importantly, we did have an independent personalized meeting with the chairs of Pleasant Valley Estates, Cypress, and Southwinds. So we had some fantastic input from them. We wanted to have them have first crack at it. We've also had some, it was a virtual meeting. We've also had some virtual discussions with the Southwinds area in total. And candidly, we want more participation. We didn't have great participation the other night. It was disappointing.
Sorry.
Lots of input. We had interpretation there, but we had great input from the chairs. So they've led off with giving us input. So with that, I'll leave it to you, and we're going to cover them one at a time for a discrete amount of time, or for however long folks want to speak. But I know we don't take your entire agenda, so.
Go ahead. Well, you want to make a statement or comment first? Is that what you want to do?
I have some concerns and questions. I'm Larry Stein. I'm the chairman of Lemonwood. I'm also a 2-time former candidate for the 5th District Council position. So I've been involved with District 5 for more than 3 weeks. There are 2 concerns I have pertaining to the 5th District, which is part of South Oxnard. One is the Mandalay Beach area that's going to be developed in the near future, as well as Ormond Beach. Both are future designs or it's projected to have future interest in these both locations, both for tourism and other minor housing. And these aren't seen to be addressed on this particular map because the area highlighted in red does not include these 2 areas, again, Ormond Beach and Mandalay Bay. So I'm concerned about the transportation availability to these areas, because right now they're not developed to any great extent because the cultural centers or recreational centers have not been developed yet. They're not planned for a number of years. Again, if this is a specific plan, the specific plan should be including the future growth as outlined in the 2030 plan and the future 2040. We've not seen a 2040 plan yet because that's still in the planning stages. So the specific plan should include future growth and future general plans because that's part of future planning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else with any questions? Okay. All right, do you want to go through?
Questions and then have people make comments if they can, or?
We do, that'd be great. Slide 18, if you could, Michael. And one of the important things that the specific plan will do is look at opportunities, and we're very aware of the great opportunity that the Ormond Beach project has to influence and encourage investment in this area. We definitely have that as an opportunity for the South Winds and the South Oxnard Connect project. So if there are no other.
We have somebody online, Roger Poirier.
Go
ahead, Roger.
Please unmute.
Hi, sorry I had to unmute myself. I'm Roger Poirier, Chair of the Hobson Park East Neighborhood Council. So over the years, I've heard residents of South Oxnard complain in meetings about how they don't seem to have the kind of retail or shopping experiences that we have in North Oxnard, like at the collection. So to the degree that this plan can encourage that kind of business development to kind of revitalize South Oxnard and make it a more dynamic shopping area, I think that would be a positive thing. I'm glad Larry mentioned Ormond Beach. I think that Ormond Beach has the potential for becoming a world-class destination. So that's something to consider. Over the years, I've heard that the port wants to expand and possibly into the South Shore area. It's all agricultural fields now. What would that be? That would be east of Savers Road and north of Wainimi Road. Just south of the Tierra Vista neighborhood. So if the port expands there and has a facility, that would obviously impact South Oxnard considerably. So that might be something to bear in mind. I think that the businesses along Wainimi Road there's a real opportunity to develop that whole strip there into something much more dynamic. And perhaps a real opportunity to do mixed-use housing along that strip. Actually, along all the arterials, having 5- and 6-story buildings with businesses on the first floor, that would seem to be a natural direction to encourage for getting a more residential density with a customer base positioned above the businesses, and along arterials to promote mass transit in those corridors. The watershed district has talked about covering what's the new name of the J Street Canal? I know that it was renamed, but the watershed district was talking about covering it along the length of J Street and turning it into a linear park. So that's in your study area. That's something to be considered. One other thing that you might consider for planning, the characteristic of the Colonia downtown is very charming to have, and also there's one store in the Wilson neighborhood, I think it's on First Street. I think it's called Old Town Grocery or something like that. This is very charming to have these small businesses in the middle of residential neighborhoods that are very walkable, very community oriented. So maybe cafes and bodegas sprinkled around residential areas to open up the zoning to be more flexible for businesses within residential areas seems like it could only help to make the neighborhoods more dynamic and reduce driving. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Roger. So go ahead and start your.
Yeah, should we go to the second question?
Yeah, yes.
Sorry. what is the best challenge in this community? If anybody has any comments on that.
The biggest challenge?
Say it again?
Yeah, if you could, yeah, it's gonna be hard for everybody online or to hear, so I wonder if we can either have people go up to the mics or pass the mic around. I don't know if it's attached or not, but.
One of the biggest challenges is Halico, the nuclear waste site at Ormond Beach. That's been sitting out there for 20-plus years, and there's been no effective cleanup. So that has to be addressed in a specific plan, in my opinion. But I'm just a file clerk, so I don't know too much about too many things. So I'm talking to the experts now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
John Ike, Bryce Getty North. A couple of considerations. One, perhaps look at, the city already has plans and opportunities for ADUs, about accessory commercial units, and along with residential buildings like suburban type housing. That'd be one thing. Another thing is the J Street drain, the length from Clara to the ocean was redone. It's covered. Like Roger mentioned, it was considered to have a green belt on there or plants put in there. So there are several areas within Oxnard. If you look at the FEMA maps flood maps from some time ago, there's a 2 and 500 year risk of like a 1 to 3 foot flooding within a number of areas within Oxnard, and some of those are right next to the J Street drain. A couple of years ago, when there was that flooding in Port Hueneme, there was also some houses in Oxnard along J Street that got some flooding when we had like 5 inches of rain in an hour. It's likely that we're going to have more events like that more often than every 500 years. So one consideration for development would be to look at surface areas, perhaps with buildings, concrete, different forms of concrete, permeable concrete type structures, and the quality or the content of the construction substances itself to be able to model flooding risk. We don't want to have enough, looking at the rainfall patterns or projected increases in patterns, and then have water construction such that water flow overruns the area of the J Street drain that's already improved, so you have more flooding upstream potentially. And not only that, but the county, that's a county project, from what I understand it, and they're dependent upon several different forms of funding for that project, and that's why it's so slow, I suppose, because there were 4 different sections they were supposed to. They were planning on doing with that J Street drain. So those are 2 considerations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there anybody else on this question? Okay, so let's go on to the second question then.
The third question, I believe?
Huh? Oh, is there, no, nobody's online. Okay. So the next question?
I'll just read it from here, sorry.
What?
What opportunities exist in the community?
Okay, does anybody want to provide some input on that question? Anybody? Okay.
I think there's great potential for commercial activity in South Oxnard. We have both areas along Saviors and areas along Hueneme Road that have great potential for development. It's this fact that North Oxnard gets more advertising revenue or more attractiveness because it has better access to the population because of the freeway and egress. But South Oxnard has a tendency of being more economically stable than North Oxnard because of the tendencies of saving more money, and demographics will speak out to that. In fact, the people are in North and South Oxnard have a tendency to be more conservative with the fiscal responsibilities than North Oxnard. Part of the growth is the fact that there may not be as much disposable income in South Oxnard versus North Oxnard, so that limits a certain amount of economic potential. But again, we're a community where the average home is in the $700,000 range. So a lot of it means that a lot of it's not affordable for people in South Oxnard. So if housing gets developed, it should be smaller housing units, and perhaps some of the existing housing units could be torn down and made smaller, so you have more housing units per area of land. Again, we're going to be growing to a certain extent. Demand's high for Oxnard properties, and that's sort of economic opportunities because hopefully more people with disposable income will be coming into Oxnard, but that will force out people who are living here right now. So that's a give and take that needs to be balanced out for the people who currently live in Oxnard versus coming in populations who have more disposable income. That perhaps should be weighed out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think somebody had their hand up, but I guess they put it down. Oh, Roger, go ahead.
I think that a lot of my comments were covered the first three questions. I hope you didn't mind that they were out of order. But the opportunities are a lot more density on the arterials, taking into consideration the possible J Street drain, a linear park, partnering with a park to develop more job opportunities along the Hueneme Road corridor, but doing it in a way that actually improves livability and quality of life. So if it could be the most green port expansion in the world, that would be ideal. One that augmented access and enhanced the experience at Ormond Beach. Working with GenOn, who's going to be an ongoing partner, obviously, for some time to come. Hopefully they'll figure out how to keep their batteries above the seawater that's going to rise up to Hueneme Road. Hopefully a park can be developed north of, between whatever the port expansion is and the Tierra Vista neighborhood, because the Tierra Vista neighborhood is the largest neighborhood in Oxnard without a park. And that would be one way to actually take care of that problem and create a buffer between the Tierra Vista neighborhood and the new port facility. So I hope that the planners bear that in mind as those plans are drawn up, because as you increase all that density in South Oxnard, most of that density will come on in apartments, in homes without a backyard, and they're going to need every square inch of park space available. And so if we can add a new park, maybe a new 6 to 10 acre park just south of Tierra Vista neighborhood, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
I'd like to second some of Roger's comments, especially when it comes to the environment. And, you know, when we talk about building, we got to do it smart and keep it green as much, especially since we're down there by beautiful Ormond Beach that has a lot of wildlife that are that are protected species. And I think that we can build and make it commercial, but maybe we can make it more, you know, to draw people there to come visit and for those kind of opportunities. But I'm going to go ahead and let Rainey step up to the mic.
So years ago, I actually lived in that little red box. And I think the one thing in that particular area, number one, it's very dense, right? There's not only are there a lot of doors, there's a lot of people within those doors. But given that, it's a very small area, but it was still very fractionalized. So I think if you could figure out some way to unify that area, and the park, it's small, the park next to the school there. And yeah, it has a nice little walking path and stuff, but we would go to Bubbling Brook or whatever it is, over in Wanimi, right? So I would go over there. So yeah, it needs something to bring people together. I think it's going to be a challenge, which would be terrific for that area.
Thank you, Rainey. Anybody else on this question? Did Roger forget to lower his hand, or is that a mic? Okay, all right. So we'll go on to the next one.
The very last question. Thank you all for your comments. Much appreciated. The last question is there anything else that we haven't thought of that you would love for us, city staff, the consultant team, for us to know regarding this neighborhood? Anything that we have not, you may have missed in our presentation, anything that you would, that you feel that really makes this place, would make this place special?
All right, Larry's stepping up to the mat there.
One of the things I think should be measured is the fact that the 2040 plan has not been developed yet. I project by the time I pass on that South Oxnard will be developed a whole lot more, especially south of Mara Vista neighborhood. We have a large swath of agricultural area. At one point in time, that area was considered a specific plan. I think it was South Oxnard, or South Shore specific plan. And that specific plan was turned down 15 years ago, about 20 years ago. So that specific plan was turned down. That may not mean it will be not revived. So I suspect within 20 years, we're going to see a lot more residential development south of Wanimi Road. Because again, it's agricultural land now, and we have a drought situation where there may be less water. So I suspect a lot of agricultural land will be sold for residential and commercial development in the far future. And that should be considered. Again, not just immediate plans of the next 10 years, but the immediate plans of the next 30, 40 years. Where is Oxnard going to be in 40 years? What kind of growth? We see a lot of traffic right now north of Oxnard and limited traffic south of Oxnard. So we're going to see, it's be questionable, the form of transportation. Our city manager in the Teal Club discussion back in April indicated he expects there to be no cars in 40 years. So that needs to be considered as to how will people get from point A to point B 40 years from now. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that I would like to add some comments or about this final question? Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Daniel Alvarez, Chair of La Colonia neighborhood. This neighborhood shares a lot of issues that my neighborhood is facing right now. And I'll be honest with you, this neighborhood is the worst neighborhood in Oxnard. Every weekend shootings, every weekend violence. And it's less than a mile away from the beach. Sometimes you walk into some of these apartment complexes, it's like walking into third world country. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Guatemala and a mile away from beautiful Ormond Beach. So there's a lot of opportunities there, especially with the youth. That's the real endangered species. If you can give the kids an opportunity to divert from that life of violence, that'll pretty much dictate the future of that neighborhood. Because if you look into past records, it's always been like that. It's been like, it had a gang injunction. I don't know if it still has one, but look back into the 60s and 70s, same problems, they persist there. Generational issues that never get fixed. You know, the presentation is beautiful, but it's not going to change anything if you don't change the youth. And it just, the kids that are coming up, they're just falling into the same cycle. And it keeps repeating itself and repeating itself. We can add all these beautiful walkways that you're speaking of, but if you don't change the youth, it ain't gonna mean anything. We're still gonna have the same issues 20 years from now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I don't see anybody else online. Anybody else have input? Of course, we can, if we think of things, can we send them your way?
I just wanted to thank everybody who spoke and the chair and the whole INCO participants. This is so meaningful to get this input and the heartfelt input that I'm hearing and that we're all hearing. We're taking this with us, so thank you, first off. We will, through Samantha, email the questions tomorrow, and it'll have in the email address to return them to. And it'll have a deadline. And there'll be more opportunities, as mentioned, Tamale Festival, as well as a community event at the end of January. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for coming forward and asking to speak with us tonight. I really appreciate everything. Thank you. Okay, let's move on, if I can read my notes. Item 3, subject, Parade and Festival Update and Discussion. The recommendation that the INCO general membership receive an update from the Parade and Festival Subcommittee, followed by an open discussion. Before you get up here, Rainey, well, you can come on up anyhow. I want to show everybody the designed banner that we have that was designed by Rainey with input by the committee's members and everybody else who's helping on the board. Oops.
I feel like
You gotta put it,
I feel like bar rescue.
so that's our banner that we're gonna be using, and for all other events as well. All right. All right, so let's let, if you want to see it later on, you can come on up. I got it. Go ahead and get started, Rainey.
Thank you, Rainey, for the design, for the work.
Yes, you did a lot of work.
So do you have a total of walkers for us?
Well, the walkers that I've talked to, now I didn't include all you, I didn't include you or anybody else, but just the people that I've talked to so far. Right now, we have 21, but 11 of them are not walkers. They're going to be in the cars, but we'd prefer to have walkers.
Okay, so let's not count those.
Okay.
So,
all right, hold on. I'll have
so
to.
then that's 10. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you might as well 10, yeah.
Okay. And then what neighborhood are you with?
Oh, Rose Park.
I'm sorry?
Rose Park?
Rose Park. And they have 10.
Oh, they have 10 people?
Yeah.
All right.
They're overachievers.
Yeah, well, we might be overachieving as well. We might just get more than 50, huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
So that gives us 20, and then we have 5 coming. So now we have 25. We're only halfway there.
You're not
folks.
including me or who else? Sandy.
I thought you included you in that. No?
I included myself. I included Sandy, but I didn't include you. I don't think I included Lisa.
Yeah.
I included Doug.
They were in those totals.
But I didn't include you.
Okay.
Sorry.
But now we're just at 25, then with the potential 11 in the cars.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that still leaves us about 20 more people that we need to walk. So if you are in a neighborhood and have not committed to having anyone, we would really appreciate your help. And it doesn't have to be you. Just someone from your neighborhood would be awesome. Now, we do not have the staging information yet. So that's going to make it more challenging to reach out to everybody. So I need a way to get in touch with everyone. We know approximately that we're going to be meeting around 9th and A Street. But we won't know what order we're in, and therefore we won't know exactly where we're meeting. So it would be nice for us to be able to reach our walkers, and I'll try to set up some sort of a sign so at least they know where we're at. But we do have 9 vehicles, and it's going to be a combination of hot rod trucks, I guess, that's what they are. So they're custom classic trucks, what I would call muscle cars and lowriders.
Yeah.
So there'll be a combination thereof, and then we have signs. We're making signs for each neighborhood. We want every neighborhood to be represented, and that's why we're looking for all of our walkers. So 2 will carry the banner, and then 1 individual will carry a neighborhood sign. So that's the plan. Anybody?
And Doug's bringing his hot rod, right? Yep, okay.
We
So
need to talk afterwards, yeah.
Okay, now, what, you asked a question, did you, or did I hear?
Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, yeah.
What time, do you have any idea what time we're gonna meet?
For the walkers, I'm thinking probably 8:30, 9, something like that should be fine. Parking, I would plan on parking, like maybe at the parking structure, have somebody drop you off. Parking is gonna be really tight.
Maybe not if we get there so early. Maybe not if we get there so early.
Maybe. I mean, I'm planning, we have to be at the park super early to set up for the Tamale Festival, but I'm gonna park in the structure, so I don't know. Anything else?
The elevators will be working.
Okay.
We also got our 300 containers, food waste containers.
Yeah,
to
and we
give out.
will have a game at the Tamale Festival, so we're hoping to have a lot of interactivity and that type of stuff. We're hoping to have a lot of fun there. So,
Yeah, we even got a few chachas for the kids, right?
Yeah, lots of giveaways.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Anybody online? I keep on seeing something. No, okay. As long as there's no questions, but I already know we got a couple people who said that they're gonna come now, right? So anyways, okay, all right, let's move on if I can find my notes here. All right, neighborhood chair reports. Neighborhood chairs may individually report on items of interest or concern to their neighborhoods. The INCO cannot enter into detailed discussion or take action on any item presented during these reports. Go ahead, does anybody have a report, neighborhood chair report? No? I do, our meeting, we're having a meeting tomorrow night at 6:30 at Sierra Linda. And that's it for me. I know I'm forgetting something though. Does anybody else have a chair report? Okay.
Oxnard Dunes is doing a Christmas caroling group Sunday the 14th at 5 o'clock. So we'll see you there, Walt.
What? I can't hear you. Oh, you weren't talking into your microphone. Nobody could hear you. Let's do it again.
All right. Oxnard Dunes, Sunday the 14th at 5 o'clock. We're going to meet at Dunes Corner, Dunes and Beachcomber, and they're going to carol throughout the neighborhood. We'll start around 6:30. One of the ladies is going to have snacks, wine, everything at her house will start. So Walt, we'll see you there, and thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, Susie from Rose Park. I'm the vice chair. We're having on the 17th of December our annual holiday potluck, our posada that we're really well known for. So I know Samantha put it on the weekly packet already, and it's been on social media. So you guys are all welcome to join if you guys would like. And that's basically what we're getting prepared for, because it's a big thing. And it's we have a new school, Rose Avenue School, so you usually have it at the school, but it's a new. They just did the ribbon cutting in August, so everything's going to be new there. So either way, all is welcomed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, Daniel, representing La Colonia. I'm the chair. We're having the meeting on the 13th of this month, 9 a.m. It's a Saturday. We're going to be meeting at the Camino del Sol Community Garden. But I have a concern regarding the neighborhood, and this involves OPD. So right now, there's a lot of construction going on in the neighborhood. They're redoing crosswalks. They've been repainting them. They look really nice, visible for the kids to cross to school. But there's still a lot of public drinking, intoxication, bums on the streets, junkies in the alleys, homeless encampments around, the Main Street, Cooper Road, Colonia Road. And sometimes when I walk around the neighborhood, I see the police just kind of drive by and just turn the other way. And this is during broad daylight. Kids are coming out of school, walking past, people intoxicating, laying down in their own urine outside of, stores. I'm going to go buy the groceries and I got to walk over this drunk guy that peed all over his pants. And these are concerns. We just started the neighborhood council, but we got to fix this for the safety of the kids. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
For the sake of everybody. Thank you.
Hi, Robbie Lucio, Kamala Chair. Kamala Neighborhood Council Chair. So we had our meeting back in October 2nd. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hold our elections, which is okay right now. So we're just planning our next meeting, which is going to be January 29th, 2026. I think our time is between 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Kamala School. So I know our bulky item pickup is coming up as well in February. So I'm hoping to be able to pass out flyers for the meeting and for the bulky item pickup. So just if you're online hearing this, I just hope you're able to show up to the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not the chairman of West Village, but for the next 7 to 12 days, there's going to be a celebration in Guadalupe, including a parade down a large portion of Rose Avenue, or it's not Rose Avenue, it's parallel Rose Avenue, but I'm not familiar with that neighborhood, but from the junior high school all the way down, there's going to be a parade for the next 7 to 14 days. You might want to ask, I'll try to email the information to Diana here, so she have more information available. Thank you. But again, this parade's been going on for 25, 30 years, so it's very colorful. One group performs dance routines that are traditional for Zacatecas. So that's very colorful costumes. They usually have about 50 dancers in the parade, just this one group, and there are going to be lots of groups performing. So something to enjoy if you have something to do next 7 days. You don't have to go all 7 days, but they'll still be there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody online that needs to give a chair report? Yes, we got Naomi.
Hello, good evening. I just wanted to also add to the comment of the first person that said something about for the safety of the neighborhood. Just wondering if anyone knows what the laws are regarding campings, because we kind of have that also kind of issue in our neighborhood. That's all. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Okay, Doug, did you have anything?
No, I just, my chair report's kind of abysmal because we failed to get a quorum. It's got me a little worried because we got our next meeting in January and we're gonna have elections, which might be a problem. We're gonna have to, I'm
It
gonna
happens.
I need to work on a way to get the word out better for my, my neighborhood council meetings, so. Yeah, it is, yeah.
It happens. Okay, since there's nobody else, let's move on to the executive board reports. The executive board may individually report on items of interest or concern. The INCO cannot enter into a detailed discussion or take action on any item presented during these reports. Do you have anything? No? Do you have anything? Okay, well, next month, we'll be swearing in the new executive board. So we hope that you're all here to celebrate. I'm thinking that we might have some snacks maybe that we can partake in as a result after the swearing in. I also, I really appreciate everybody's work that they've done. Working on this committee, getting us together and participating. There has been a lot of excitement about participating in this, and I think this is going to be really good way for INCO to spread the word that we're here for our residents. We're here, we're first level, I guess, to getting things done, and working with the city. And we need to more, we need to be, we need to get more popular. I guess so, because I can't think of the word I want to use, so we'll use that one for right now. But we need to become where everybody knows what a neighborhood council is, where INCO oversees neighborhood councils, and I think this is one good step of doing that. And it would really be nice here, since the membership did vote on participation, it would be nice if all the chairs would at least try to find somebody to represent them if they cannot. And that's what I got with that, for that. And that's it for me. So, you guys don't have anything. So let's, where am I? Item, executive, I missed you. I'm sorry. The executive board, I'm sorry. Report of the executive secretary. I switched. I forget about that one.
It's okay. I do not have an update.
Okay, thank you. Okay, without objection, I'd like to adjourn. Hearing none, the meeting's dismissed. Huh? What? What did I forget? Oh, shoot. I guess I can't close the meeting yet. Do we have any, let me go open up and, I can't read, I got my things all written all over everything. I can't read anything. Items for future consideration. Members may request that items be placed on the future agendas for extended discussion. Does anybody have anything for future agenda items?
Why, I do. Thank you.
Darn it.
I would love to get a report from, I don't know if it's the transportation department, who it would be, but their traffic planning, how we are planning for all of this future development, and what does it take to get turn signals put into a traffic, like what does it take to have changes made? I would love to have a report on that.
Okay, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hi, good evening. Ronald Arwejo, East Village. Last month, I proposed to the new executive board to get the city clerk. She's really wanting to come. Also, elections are happening next year, and so I hope the new executive board will look into possibly doing any candidate forums for the June election, but definitely for the November election. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ronald, and you know it. Anybody else? Anybody online? Okay, so now can I adjourn without objection? Okay, without objection, I'm adjourning the meeting. Thank you. You guys have a happy New Year, happy holidays, and I'll see you all at the parade.